Well, folks, today we're going to be talking about feed, specifically the Tractor Supply feed. It's been a real hot topic issue lately, and many in the chicken community that are used to feeding Producer's Pride from Tractor Supply have been reporting lower numbers since, I believe, about last September. Now, ever since we got chickens, we've been feeding Producer's Pride brand feed. Well, because it's cheaper and it's worked, we've gotten eggs, and it hasn't been an issue. So, as of right now, there's multiple ideas floating around as to why, whether it's something added or something nutritious that has been taken away, maybe a supply chain issue, but overall, many more than normal during the cold season, which, if you don't already know, during the cold temperatures and low reduced light hours in the day, chickens will typically lay less eggs. But many are attributing it to the feed. It's even made national news headlines. If you are under a rock, you and haven't heard about it by now. So we've been feeding the Producer's Pride feed for a while, and something that we did not know is that it's made by Purina. Pretty much, more than half or whatever ratio you want to put to it, but of the feed coming from Tractor Supply comes from Purina. There's Producer's Pride, there's Purina, and then there's I don't know if it's joint owned, but Cargill apparently owns Purina, but Land O'Lakes owns Purina, and Cargill owns Nutrina, and then Purina owns Do More. So basically, the majority of the feed that we've been getting at Tractor Supply has been coming from Purina, and I personally don't think that one company, you should be trusting just one company for all of your feed sources there. So, I mean, it's like if there's an issue with one, there could potentially be an issue with the other ones. I'm not privy on where each individual feed's manufactured and et cetera, et cetera. But what the takeaway from all this? So, first of all, you're probably wondering, have we had issues? And let's go check the egg door. So, we buy our feed in bulk. We typically buy about 4 to 6 months supply at a time. And we've just been continuing feeding the Producer's Pride. And as you can see, there's not a shortage of eggs. So, I'm not saying that, that debunks a mass nationwide conspiracy against the feed. I'm just saying we haven't noticed it. I mean, I'm looking right there, there's 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 16, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 eggs. Just a quick count. You can check me there if my math isn't up to par, but we are not, I'll get those in a second. We are not getting the same results as everybody else is. Well, as everybody else is reporting. I know I'm not the only one. A bunch of other individuals are reporting that they've been continuing to feed the Tractor Supply feed and still getting eggs. So you might ask, well, what do you do different that maybe it might affect the outcome? Well, first of all, we need to give our girls plenty of black sunflower seeds. They've gotten a little pricier, as with everything else. They're about $25, give or take your area, for a 40-pound bag. Well, we supplement this in the feed in addition to other proteins. So this is from Tractor Supply as well, the Flock Party Tasty Trio, but we give our birds plenty of mealworms along with the black sunflower seeds, and we have not had the issue that others are claiming with reduced egg numbers. As you can see, it's actually been weird. Our hens have been continuing to lay through the cold months here in Michigan. So, I guess what's the takeaway from all this? Well, I think one good takeaway is that you should know where your feed's coming from. This was an eye-opener for us, and knowing, just how much feed is produced from one source. And after we run out of the Tractor Supply feed, we are going to start looking into more locally sourced feed sources. So I do believe it's important to start establishing relationships with locally produced feed for your animals, because the more centralized stuff gets and the supply chain issues and what have you, it's important to know that to have a plan B, and to have probably more than one. I mean, probably have more than just one person or one place you can go to get feed from. Next, just food for thought. Now, regardless of what you think of Tractor Supply at this point, I mean, it is worth mentioning that there has been quite the targeting of Tractor Supply. And I'm not trying to be an advocate for them one way or another, but I think it's worth mentioning, that why has there been, like, the never-ending, like, targeting Tractor Supply? Like, last year, it was the new brooders that were, that were not maybe trained to use properly, or just were bad design, but people were reporting chickens, in the little chicks and the brooders dying all over the country. And then this year, we have the backlash over, the drag show or whatever. You can look more into that. I'm not going to elaborate on that. And now we have the chicken feed itself. So I don't know. It's worth noting, who would have what to gain off of Tractor Supply losing, major market share. I mean, you just got to think about these things. I don't think anything happens for, no reason. I'm not I try not to, wear that tinfoil hat too hard, but you got to ask, why is all this happening? In the midst of food shortages, midst of avian flu and everything else that we've experienced in the chicken community, it's worth noting these things. So I've been waiting, because everyone else has been kind of jumping on the bandwagon, posting a bunch of stuff out there, and I just wanted to sit back a minute and think about it, and then more importantly share what our results have been. And they're eating it up. I mean, I just came out because it's time to refill the feeders already, but I mean, I fill these typically about once a week, and they're still eating it up, and I supplement it with the nutrients, and I have happy laying chickens. So until next time, if you have any questions, please drop a comment, like, share, subscribe, what have you, and God bless.